Over the next few episodes, we will be reviewing the book of Esther in the Bible. There are quite a number of lessons to be learned. Welcome to our channel. Please sit back, watch and be blessed.
Thanks, Grandma, for a great dinner.
You're welcome, Ophelia. Always lovely to have you, my dear. An old woman like me needs company from time to time. So, what else do you want to do? The power cut due to this blasted storm has ruined your visit.
That's okay, Grandma. I'm happy to spend time with you. Maybe we can have one of those storytelling sessions, like you used to do when we were kids.
Oh, I would really love that. What story should I tell you now? Have I ever told you about the story of Esther from the Bible?
No, you haven't. Can you tell me that story? Please, Grandma.
Okay, Ophelia. Let's see. About 100 years after the Jews' exile to Babylon, some of the Jews that didn't return to Jerusalem lived in Susa, in Babylon. The king of Babylon at that time was King Xerxes, and he had rulership over 127 provinces, stretching from India to Ethiopia. In the third year of his reign, King Xerxes threw two lavish parties. The two banquets lasted 187 days in total.
Wow. Imagine throwing lavish parties every day for 187 days. That'll cost some cool millions, Grandma.
He wanted to show off, to display his greatness and splendor to all the provinces under his command and the other surrounding kings.
He really was full of himself.
In those days, that was how kings intimidated other nations and kept them from attempting to attack them. On the last day of the feast. Long may you live. You sent for me, Your Highness.
Are all my guests being well taken care of?
Yes, Your Highness. All the guests in the different banquet halls, as well as the palace grounds, are being well taken care of and entertained.
Good. Good. And my queen?
She is entertaining the women at her banquet, Your Highness.
Bring me my beautiful Queen Vashti. I want to show her off to my guests.
As your lordship pleases. Greetings, my queen.
Yes.
The king requests your presence at his royal banquet to entertain his guests.
Why? What about all the exotic dancers that were hired for the banquet? Should I, the queen, dance before mere men? I see that the king is well drunk with wine. Tell the king I will not come.
Forgive me, my queen. But...
You heard me. Be gone. Give my message to the king.
Yes, my queen.
That was quite rude and disrespectful of her to send such a message to the king.
True, and she paid the price for that mistake. The king was angry, and his noblemen advised him to depose her as queen, or else all the women in the land will follow after her bad behavior and disrespect their husbands, leading to chaos in the land.
Wow, little mistakes, brought about by pride, can cost us our positions of honor in life.
You're right about that, my dear. That is one good lesson to take away from this story. However, in this case, Vashti had a good reason for refusing the king's orders.
And what was that?
The king wanted her to dance in front of his guests, wearing nothing but her crown. If she had obeyed the king, he would have had the momentary pleasure of showing off her beauty, but when he became sober, he would realize that the whole world had seen the nakedness of his queen. That must never be. She would then have to be sent to the harem of concubines, and he would look for a new queen.
So Vashti was doomed from the start. She was never going to win in this situation. Whichever way she went, she would have still lost her position as the queen.
Yes.
That's tough.
All this was set up by God, who rules in the affairs of men. You will see later in the story why Vashti had to go.
So what happened next?
I'm beginning to wonder if I wasn't too hasty in deposing my queen.
No, Your Highness. You did the right thing. I know you are lonely. However, that can be remedied.
How?
You are the king. You can have any woman you want. Let a beauty pageant be organized. Let virgins be sought all through the kingdom and kept in your harem under the charge of Haggai, your head eunuch. They will be prepared for you with beauty treatments. You can take your pick, and whoever pleases you, you can make your queen in Vashti's place.
That sounds good. See to it.
There was a Jew named Mordecai who lived in the palace. He had an orphaned little cousin Esther, who he adopted and raised as his daughter. Esther was very beautiful and had a great figure. Esther, you heard the announcement calling maidens from all over the land to be taken to the palace.
Yes, I did, Uncle. I heard that it's for a beauty pageant.
King Xerxes is searching for a new queen.
Oh,
You will be joining the maidens in the palace too, so get ready.
okay, Uncle.
One note of caution though, you must never reveal to anyone that you are a Jew. Your heritage and background must be kept a secret.
I will do as you have said, Uncle.
Because of her sweet, gentle, obedience and good nature, Haggai, the eunuch in charge of the maidens, took a liking to her and treated her specially.
She seems like a really nice girl.
Each girl was to be prepared for 12 months with special beauty treatments, and when the time came for her to see the king, she would be given whatever she wanted to take with her.
What? 1 full year of daily spa treatments?
They had to be at their very best for the king.
After they saw the king, then what?
They would be sent to the second harem, where the king's concubines were kept, and would never return to the king again, except he asked for them specifically.
What a life. I don't envy them. So did Esther end up with the concubines too?
When it was Esther's turn to go to the king, she asked for Haggai's recommendation and followed his instructions.
That was a smart move. Who else would know what the king loves? And was King Xerxes pleased with her?
What did you say your name was again, young maiden?
Esther, your highness.
Esther. You are so beautiful and graceful. My heart is pleased with you. You shall be my queen.
As your lordship pleases.
Some time later, Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate one day when he overheard a plot to assassinate the king.
Uncle Mordecai, I got your urgent message. I hope all is well.
My daughter, I have some very disturbing information, and I had to get to you urgently.
What is it, Uncle?
2 of the king's eunuchs, Bigthana and Teresh, are planning to assassinate the king.
What?
I don't know what their grievances are, or if they were hired by the king's enemies. I thought I should let you know.
Thank you, Uncle. I really appreciate your always looking out for me.
Esther gave the king the information and mentioned Mordecai as the informant. The king investigated and it was true. The 2 eunuchs were arrested and hanged. It was also documented in the book of records kept for the king's use. Take note of this, because it will come up again as our story progresses.
Okay, Grandma. Filed and taken note of.
Good. About 5 years after Esther became queen, the king promoted Haman, the Agagite, to the highest position in the government. All the servants at the gate would bow down and kneel before him anytime he passed by. Mordecai, however, would not, and this infuriated Haman. I see that you servants are disrespectful and do not obey the king's orders to bow before me. Not so, sir. We do obey the king's orders and do bow before you. Except one, sir, Mordecai. And why does he not bow? We did ask him, because we didn't want him to put us in trouble. And he said that it's because he is a Jew. He said that Jews only bow to worship the living God. Is that so? When Haman learned his reason for not bowing, it infuriated him even more, and he sought for an occasion to not only destroy Mordecai but the Jews as a whole.
But that's rather outrageous. Why would he destroy a whole nation just because of one person's offense?
We don't know. Perhaps he had another reason for his vendetta which is not mentioned. Remember, he was an Agagite, a descendant of King Agag of Amalek, whom King Saul failed to kill when he disobeyed God's instruction to kill all humans and animals when they went to war against the Amalekites. Samuel the prophet had to kill him since Saul failed to do it.
Talk about your mistakes coming back to haunt you.
Haman, we have cast lots as you wanted, to determine when the Jews will be annihilated. It falls on the 13th day of Adar, the 12th month. That is great. What we need now is the legal backing to carry out the plans. Leave that to me. I will convince the king to write the decree. O king, may your reign be long and great.
Haman, what brings you to my presence?
Your Highness, I want to bring to your notice a matter that is becoming increasingly urgent.
What is it?
There is a group of people scattered throughout all the provinces in your kingdom, who are different from everybody else. Worse still, they do not regard you nor obey your laws. They are a threat and should be dealt with. If it please the king, let orders be given that they be destroyed. I will personally finance the operation.
Okay, it's your money. Do whatever you want with those people. Go ahead. Take my signet ring and see to it.
So, all the king's secretaries were brought in. The orders were written under Haman's instruction and addressed to the governors of every province. The order was to massacre all the Jews, young and old, men, women and babies, on that set day and plunder their goods. They were translated into the different languages of all the peoples of the various provinces, sealed with the royal signet ring and dispatched. Copies of the bulletin were posted publicly throughout King Xerxes' territory, for all to see, and also in the palace grounds in Susa.
The Jews must have been scared when they saw this.
Everywhere throughout all the provinces, the Jews were in great sorrow and mourning, because of what was about to befall them.
So, what did they do?
I hope you enjoyed this rendition, and were able to gather some lessons along the way. Join us for part 2 of this story. Remember, God rules in the affairs of men, and his hand can be seen all through the fabric of our existence. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and click on the notification bell. Stay blessed.